This case is a little bit different from the previous two in that we did not have to take a number of similar cases and build a script from them. This was a single case that played out exactly the way you saw it here. And the reason we know what words were spoken is that it escalated after that. Here's what happened. The pharmacist went to HR. He said, I want this physician reprimanded formally for attempting to circumvent a safety procedure. Also, if you people don't put into place a policy that forbids physicians from coming into the pharmacy, I'm going to quit. And HR said, dude, well, they didn't say dude. They said, look, we cannot institute a policy that forbids physicians from coming into the pharmacy. So he quit. When he resigned, the director of the medical center launched an investigation. And that's where the documentation came from that gave us the actual words that were spoken in these conversations. The investigation revealed that the doctor had, in fact, culpably attempted to circumvent an established safety procedure, and a formal reprimand was issued. But Dr. Riesbrow, not his real name, because of his personality, would not tolerate that. So he quit. These two healthcare providers, the pharmacist and the physician, were very highly regarded in the center by their patients. Tom, as you saw, had a good working relationship with his patient, Mr. Jacob. Dr. Riesbrow was loved by his patients. He was considered to be the top provider in the facility. So now here these two well-respected providers resign. Everybody who's left turns around and looks at the DUE pharmacist, Lisa, and blames her for the loss of these two providers. And she quit. So what could have been a win-win situation handled differently turns out to be a lose-lose-lose. What happened to the status of that medical center? Okay. Let's break it down. Let's take a look at it. Tom, the pharmacist, if Tom was being both caring to the patient and responsible to the procedures, and do we agree that he was trying to do both? Mm-hmm. Yes. How could things go so horribly wrong here? How could there be such a gap between what should have happened and what actually did happen? Well, let's take a look at the assumptions that people brought into this situation with them and how they wound up damaging the process. And we'll start with Tom. And I'll ask Rob to come up here and walk us through that.
Tom starts that day when Mr. Jacob comes in. That he does everything safe. Everything's gonna be safe. Everything's great by doing things by the book, right? Now, what will his new assumptions be after that? After this situation with Dr. Riesbrow? What's he thinking about the book now? He thinks the doctors can pretty much get away with anything, do what they want.
Why have you in place?
Why am I there? Yeah, I clearly don't matter to my supervisor, right? Doctor can run all of this.
Why do you think why?
Say that again?
Why do you think why?
Why do things right? Absolutely. Why should I try and follow procedures and the policies that are put in place if I'm going to get in trouble, it's going to punish me, right? So what's going to happen, you think, the next time a red flag pops up?
Especially from Dr. Riesbrow.
Yeah.
You're going to question it.
I'm
You're going to question your decision as to whether to follow the policy or to just let it go.
okay, there it is. And because I'm thinking I'm going to just get in trouble anyway if I follow the policies and procedures, I might let it go. Like you said, right? And Jim, maybe you can explain this a little bit better.
Yeah, 2005, there was a study done throughout the country about what happens when care professionals ignore safety issues in order to prevent or avoid confrontations and conflicts. The study is called Silence Kills, because what happens is people die. It's a very eye-opening and very scary study. It's periodically updated. So if you want to know what the situation is right now, you can always go to silencekills.com and get the latest on this. But the reality is, when situations like this happen, a person like Tom is going to be tempted the next time Dr. Riesbrow's red flag shows up to just blow it off. But if he had prescribed that medication, or if he had filled that prescription, and God forbid something had happened to Mr. Jacobs, is it Dr. Riesbrow that they'd go after? No, it's the pharmacist. So his license is now in jeopardy, isn't it? As well as his freedom, if he follows what his inclination would be. Okay? Thanks, Bob. Okay, now Dr. Riesbrow. Dr. Riesbrow comes in today with the assumption that everybody in the place is competent and professional, right? What are his new assumptions regarding Tom? Tom is, he's what? He's incompetent. He's egotistical. He's what else? Difficult to work with. He's a bureaucratic, pencil-pushing, policy-oriented, whatever, uncaring about the patient. Any of that true about Tom? No. That's Dr. Riesbrow's assumption. And he'll act on those. Okay? The veteran, I'm sorry, Lisa, the DUE pharmacist. Her initial assumptions here are that everybody in the place is going to be working together to accommodate the vet. As she exits this little confrontation, what is she now thinking about Riesbrow and Tom? They can't get along. The situation is not going to be resolved. I'm probably going to have to go through this again. I've got a personality conflict to deal with here. Tom's thinking about going to HR, which is just going to make things worse because it's just going to irritate Riesbrow. Right? She's thinking, I need to trade in my lab coat for a referee's jacket, for crying out loud. All of these things now going on in her head. Okay? The veteran, he comes in today with the idea in mind that everybody in the medical center is there to work together for the benefit of his health and well-being. What's he thinking as he walks out today? Well, look at what happened. Okay? He's got two respected healthcare providers here. One of them is telling him that the medication is perfectly safe, he should go ahead and take it. The other one is telling him that there's a potential risk here, there's a hazard, this could be dangerous, this could be fatal, this could be whatever. He knows they both can't be right. So what's he supposed to do? Flip a coin? Plus, like you say, he gets stuck right in the middle of this argument. Okay? I often say that he walks out of here feeling like the child in a divorce case. Okay? Mom and dad are fighting again, and it's all my fault. He feels responsible. If I hadn't come in with this issue, with this problem, with this situation today, these two guys never would have got into this argument. So somehow I caused this. This is the mindset that our veterans sometimes walk out after a situation like this. All right? What does he tell first the doctor and then the pharmacist during the course of the argument? What does he say? First to the doctor, what does he say?
It's okay,
I don't need this medication right now, doctor. And then he says what to the pharmacist? Just forget about this prescription. It's not worth it. Okay? Time out. What had he just told the pharmacist about his situation? Now, what did he tell the pharmacist initially about his condition? I'm in so much pain I can't sleep. If I get up to ease the pain, my legs swell. There's a lot of mornings I wake up and I can't walk. And yet, he will say to the doctor and the pharmacist, forget about this, it's not working. What's he really saying? I'd rather deal with the pain and the swelling and the not being able to walk than I would go through this. And how tragic is that? But this is an actual case, and it's not untypical. Cases like this happen all the time in medical centers around the country. All right? So now, let's talk about Tom. At the end of the day, when he leaves the center, come on up, Rob. When he leaves the center and goes back home, he carries with him the bruises from this little altercation, right?
And Tom goes home, sees his wife Linda. Linda has a bunch of nicknames she's already thought up for him. She says, I don't know what to do right now. You look upset. What happened today at work?
I'm sorry, what happened?
Thank you so much. And what's Tom going to tell her? What happened today?
The doctors are competent at place.
absolutely.
They
Yeah,
don't care about the patients.
the doctors are incompetent. Yeah, they don't care about the patients like I do, right?
There's a rule that
They was that?
there's a rule that we don't care. If I pass a rule, my license is in jeopardy.
Yeah, he's gonna go, yeah, he's gonna say all that. He's gonna go first with the doctors, right? Doctors are incompetent. He might say other things. Doctors are out, out to do whatever they want, right? They don't follow the rules. And he wants to follow the rules. He wants to think about the safety. And does that matter? Does that end up mattering at all? No, doesn't he feel like the policies don't matter, right? Supervisor, what happened with that? When he tried to do the right thing, what happened with Lisa?
He felt like she took sides.
She didn't back him up. Yeah, everyone is on the doctor's side over there, right? And like you said, Audrey, if he fills that prescription, he's the one that gets in trouble, right? What happens then? He could lose his license, lose his career. He could even go to jail. Okay? Yeah. All that. He's thinking of all that right now when he goes home to his wife.
At least it's the rule that she's not.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why are the policies in place if we don't have to follow them?
The system is pointless. Clearly. The policies, the procedures, also the supervisors, it's all pointless. He's starting to hate his job just like Chuck, just like Mark. He's going to quit.
Or he goes down, to CBS where he doesn't have to deal with the Reese crowds of the world, and down to Walgreens. Okay? Or maybe he doesn't quit. We see the same kinds of things that we saw with Mark. The change in attitude, the change in demeanor, the change in performance over a period of time. Same thing that would happen with Chuck if he didn't leave. Okay? And going back to Chuck for just a minute, there's a difference with Chuck because there's a long-term implication there too. Okay? If we watch Chuck over a period of time, with this bad attitude, this new approach to things, or avoidance, right? We would gradually see over a period of years, Chuck would be transformed and would turn into Barry. Isn't that how berries are made? Nobody starts off being Barry. But it's these kinds of incidents over a period of time that create the berries that we have to deal with in the organization. And we may not be able to do anything with a berry in the short term. But in the long run, what we got to decide we're going to do is stop making new berries. We got to close the berry factory. And if we think about Riesbrow and we think of him as a berry in a lab coat, which some people have said, okay, the same thing applies. We want to stop that process. All right. So team 3, Team 3, after lunch, when we replay this scenario, what would you do differently that will allow this situation to turn out better than it did in this real-life single case? We're going to start working on a tool, a technique that will allow you to do that and will change your life.